Okay. And welcome back to all my Realty Pros. I want to let you all know that I missed you all last week. And so I'm glad to be back with you again. And I am so pleased and honored to present or to, yes, present our speaker for this afternoon's Realty Talk, who is none other than our wonderful broker, Jasmine Porter, and she is going to be picking up from last week's training and continuing for it this week. So thank you so much for all of you who have taken your time out to join us. And thank you so much, Ms. Porter, for your support.
Excellent. Thank you for that introduction, Anita. Hello and welcome to everybody who's on the line today. Just want to give a shout out, say hello to Clement. I see you there. I see Angela, I see Paula, I see Dee, I see Aurelia, I see Darlene. I see other people who are joining us. If I missed you, please forgive me. I just wanted to give you guys a shout out. It is imperative to your success that you guys take training as a priority. You make it your priority. So I just wanted to commend those of you who did that today, and for your colleagues who are joining us. Shout out to you guys as well. I want to ask before we dive in today, if there's anybody that you don't see on the line, if we don't admit them within the next 30 seconds or so, send them a text. Send out a message in WhatsApp. Encourage your colleagues to join, because the conversations and trainings that we have on a daily or weekly basis go hand in hand with what we talk about often regarding seed time and harvest. We talked about last week that seed has to be watered over time in order to grow. And this is very much a part of that watering. So we want for each one of our Porterhouse Realty Pros to be successful in their real estate business. And this is very much of a part of it. This is very much a part of it. So encourage somebody, uplift them, send them a text, send them a reminder, say, hey, just jump on if if you're able to, just put it in your AirPods. If you're multitasking, that's fine. You just want to be a part of the conversation so you know what's going on. All right. So we will go ahead and get started today. Guys, there have been some tremendous discussions over the last few weeks, and the trainings that you guys have done for our Porterhouse leadership team. We want to commend you guys on it. You've done such a great job. Curtis had his series for working with buyers. Angela has her series for working with sellers. As Anita stated, we have a boot camp this coming Saturday, which is your offer writing boot camp. So kudos in advance on all of the benefits that you're going to receive from that offer writing boot camp. So I just wanted to say that on recording for you guys, so as to have an official reminder of what's going on at Porterhouse. And there's so much more going on in the months to come. So you guys are going to get some very special and important dates that'll be announced to you next week for things that'll be going on within the next couple of months surrounding holidays and all those different things. So we're absolutely looking forward to seeing you guys and being able to spend some time together. Okay. As for today, what we're talking about, we all know that it is the end of October. Where the year went, I don't know. It just seemed to have flown by so quickly. Nevertheless, we're in a place where we must be prepared. If we were diligent to do the things that we started out doing in 2022, then for many of you, you've closed more transactions this year than you ever have. And we want to commend you on that. We've noticed that quite a number of our Realty Pros, because we set that goal high for you in the beginning, the close 22 and 2022. Some of you were very terrified by that goal. We set it for you and you got a little trepidatious. You're like, wait a minute, what do you mean you want us to close 22 and 2022? And look at what you've been able to accomplish for those of you that have been striving towards it. So we touched on it last week, and we're going to go a little bit deeper this week. Okay. So closing out the year strong. What does that look like? We know it's October 27, 2022. We have all of November and all of December, right? There's no surprise to us that there are two major holidays in the middle or at the end of both of those months. So what does it look like for you and your business to be able to close out the year strong? So today I want you guys to take some notes, because we're going to implement some things that we want for each of you to do so as to have a banner end of the year and a stellar first quarter for 2023. Because as I believe it was Angela that mentioned on a training maybe last week or the week before, what you're doing now in this last quarter is very much going to fuel what your first quarter of next year looks like. So we want you guys to be encouraged, uplifted, and motivated to do the things that we're teaching you to do. Okay. So the first thing, closing out the year strong. I want to ask you guys, what does that look like to you? If you had to just, write on your vision board or write in your goals or your business plan, 3 things that would constitute closing out the year strong for you. I want you to choose one of those things, come off your mute, and tell us what that would look like for you to close out the year strong. And I will wait for just a second for volunteers before I start calling on you guys.
I'll talk.
Hello, Darlene.
Hi. So closing out the year strong is it may be filtering through your sphere of influence, your contacts, reaching out to people, or definitely do your holiday, send outs. That's part of closing the year strong, or like working on listings, say you may have sellers who are still clearing out their homes, and you're keeping them motivated for, putting their houses on the market and for the new year. More education, so those are some ideas of closing out the year strong.
Girl, you need to write that down, type it up, and send it over to me, because that is almost textbook, what it looks like to close out the year strong. Those are some very important things. But don't worry, guys, that's not all of them. So you still have an opportunity to share. What does closing out the year strong look like for you? All right, let's see. Kermon, what does closing out the year strong look like for you?
Hi, Ms. Porter. How are you?
Hello, Kermon. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm on the way to the meeting, but I'm driving. But I was thinking about it, and closing out the year strong for me is going to be making sure that I go back and recontact everyone I've spoken with this year. People who were either on the fence, people who were thinking about it, but couldn't make the move. Now, just letting them know now is the time. We're getting ready to go into a new year, and you don't want to take the old you into the new year. So it's all things on the table. It's an excellent time to be thinking about real estate. It's an excellent time to be thinking about making your dream of home ownership and turning it into a reality. So my thing is to get back in contact with everyone. Don't let anyone slip through the crack. Making sure I reach out to all of my, like Darlene said, sphere of influence. And also, and this is just me, I have to get more organized as far as my, everything technical. I bought a new laptop, so I'm getting that up to speed. I spoke with D'Amica. She's going to help me get everything, put into my laptop. So we're going to go back to constant contact, going back to making sure I'm up to date with Boomtown and all the things that we were doing this year. We just want to really close it out strong, and we want to make sure that we are on point, because when you blink and the new year will be here. So that's what I'm really focusing on. I'm coming to the office today. I was in the office yesterday, and we're doing some work. So we got to get busy. Time is of the essence.
Excellent.
So that's what we do. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Kermon. Everybody is on point today. Let me see, who else? Clement, tell us what closing out the year strong would look like for you.
Hi, Ms. Porter.
Hello, Clement.
All right. I don't know, for some reason I cannot see myself, but I can see you. I don't know, something is going on there. Yeah, whatever you guys talked about so far, that's basically it. Because anybody that I knew, I'm actually reaching out to pretty much everybody, because you know that I'm a full-time appraiser, but I do real estate as well. And I recently changed the brokerage from one company to the next. And this is an amazing opportunity for me to let them know broker, they have a new program, this, that. So just to make sure that, as Carmon said, we do not let anything fall in the cracks, just to make sure we keep in touch with them. Yeah, some people may say, you know what, I'm going away or something to that nature. That's perfectly fine. But you always try to keep in touch with every single person that you talk to over the years, that you may see they might be doing something. Because as a matter of fact, 3 years ago, I actually signed up with client at the time, and he was trying to sell a townhouse in Alexandria. And this happens to be right by Potomac River. It's a beautiful place. So as we are trying to do that, somebody passed away from their family. So they had fallen behind. Of course, there are a lot of stuff they had to uh, configure differently or whatnot. So finally, they are saying that, yeah, quite possibly, maybe next year in summertime, we might be able to do something. But it's been almost 3 years now. I have been in touch with that particular couple. So, you know, that would be my thing. Yeah. Call everybody just to make sure that you let them know. Don't be a secret agent. Let them know you are still doing it, even though they do not hear from you every single month or whatnot. But holidays would be a very good time for you to have some extra business cards, and you can give it away to your friends, your family members, just to make sure you reassure them, hey, I'm in this business. If you know of anybody, please let me know. On top of that, this is besides the point. I go to so many homes every week to inspect properties for appraisals, right? So I don't do that because I thought maybe it's kind of like because I'm wearing a different hat, if you will, when I was doing appraisal. Then on the way back, sorry, as I am about to leave that house, and if I see that we are engaging pretty nicely and stuff like that, then I would just strike a little conversation saying that, hey, I'm also a real estate agent. I need help. And I'm going to leave some business cards with you. If you happen to know of anybody, please don't hesitate to ask them to contact me. I gave them 4 or 5 business cards. I have been doing it for the past 1 month. Nothing happened as of yet, but I'm pretty sure it would be turning something someday. I don't know when.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Clement. You guys are on point, each and every last one of you. The things that you shared constitute closing out 2022 strong. We want you to be intentional. We want you to not look up and say it's January. I didn't maximize the opportunity to prospect to my sphere of influence over the holidays. Because as Darlene mentioned, and the guys have spoken since, have echoed, this is a tremendous opportunity to reach out to everybody in your sphere of influence. What better time than the holidays to reach out to people and say, hey, I was thinking of you, happy holidays, whether it's, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or whatever that looks like for you, even with, Halloween or whatever it looks like for you in your sphere of influence. The goal is for you to maximize those opportunities to send out those cards, send out campaigns, send out mailers, make calls, text messages. For some of you, you may be able to go and visit or invite somebody out, for the holidays, maybe for a pumpkin pie treat or something. The opportunities are endless. So I don't want to kind of put you in a box when it comes to that. I want you to be empowered to use your creativity when it comes to prospecting within your sphere of influence. And we've said that so many times, and I trust that we will continue to echo it, because as we noted last week, your sphere of influence is the gold beneath your feet. We do so much marketing for people that we've never met before, and that is a vital part of our real estate business. But as we learned, 68% of all of your closings are going to come from people who already know, like, and trust you. So the ability to reach out, connect, reconnect, and to further that relationship, it's what's going to keep you top of mind when they run across somebody that has a home to sell. Or, when they have a life-changing event that causes them to need to sell their home, or if they want to upgrade or, scale down, downsize, or whatever that looks like, you just want to make sure that you are the realtor who is top of mind for them. Okay. So closing 22 and 2022, I want you guys to be encouraged. Many, as I said, of you have done extremely well, close more deals than you ever have because you set the bar so high. If you haven't gotten to your 2022 or your 22 and 2022, I still want you to be very encouraged to continue to strive towards it. Because as we said last week, if you aim for the stars, even if you hit somewhere up in the sky, you're still way better off than you would have had you just, aim for the trees or something. And maybe you'd hit the parking lot from where I'm sitting. But the purpose of that is for you to aim high and you will excel and you will do so much more. We don't want you guys to set your bar low because we know that there's greatness on the inside of each and every last one of you. Sphere of influence, as we said, during this time of the year, this is the time for you to reflect. This is the time for you to, whatever it is that you need to quickly adjust so as to close out this year strong. This is time for you to do that. So I want to briefly touch on expanding your idea of what your sphere of influence looks like, because the predominant piece of your sphere of influence are people that you've already met. But I want you guys to have an abundance mindset, as we talked about before, with regards to endless opportunities and maximizing every chance that you get to add as many people to your sphere of influence as possible, right? So whether you go to a barber, you get your hair cut, or you go get get a manicure, or you get your nails done, or your kids' school, or, your full-time job, or PTA, or HOA, or, wherever you go for church, or whatever that looks like, opportunities are endless with regards to adding people to your sphere of influence, because all it takes is a conversation to initiate that relationship. So think in terms of being intentional about connecting with people everywhere that you go. You can go to a grocery store. And of course, many of us will. Some people are still doing your Instacart, and that's great. We use Instacart too. But why not be intentional about going to a grocery store either in your community or in your farm area where you want to sell houses? And just schedule your weekly or bi-weekly or whatever that looks like trip to the grocery store in a place that's within your farm area so that you can intentionally have conversations with a minimum of 10 people before you leave, and just give out your business card, exchange that information so that you're constantly growing that sphere of influence. And I want to make sure that before we move on from that, that is abundantly clear, because every single person that you come in contact with is a person that you can add to your sphere of influence, as long as you are intentional about communicating and just exchanging information. Okay. So we talked about not being a secret agent. Not being a secret agent means that you're not going to walk past them, wherever you are, and not intentionally strike up a conversation so that you can get into real estate. That can be a Panera Bread conversation, a Starbucks conversation, a Dunkin' Donuts conversation, wherever it is that you frequent, those conversations need to be had there. And if within your schedule, you don't have places that you currently frequent, that's an opportunity for you to add some, okay? So think in terms of abundance and your opportunities for prospecting, and be intentional about going and putting yourself in the midst of places where the opportunities are endless, right? You may go into, a Target within your farm area. At any given time, there are hundreds of people in Target. You don't know them yet, but they're just friends that you haven't met yet. They're people that you have an opportunity to strike up a conversation and be intentional about transferring that information so that you can be constantly growing your sphere of influence on a daily basis. So I hope that, as many times as I'm reiterating it in various ways, I'm hoping that that will sink in for you guys, because when you look at your book of business, that's a direct kind of line from your sphere of influence. Everybody from your sphere of influence should be added to your book of business. And as we know from our business plans at the beginning of each year, you need to constantly be growing that number. So constantly growing that number is an intentional act. All right. Does anybody have any questions? I threw out a couple things with regards to sphere of influence, but there's so many other sources for sphere of influence. If there's something that you didn't hear me say that you're thinking about right offhand as an opportunity for you, I want you to drop it in the chat or take yourself off mute and just let me know what those opportunities are that are within your grasp to grow your sphere of influence.
Hey, Jasmine.
Hello, Angela.
Hi. Sorry, I missed some of it, but I think I caught up enough to be able to share. I think I spoke about this last week as well with, us coming up towards the end of the year. And that used to be something that I would kind of not, I wouldn't feel great about it. But we change our perspective, right? So I'm excited this time of the year because we do have, those added opportunities. It's so easy to reach out to people who are, in our contact sphere of influence and those who aren't, because it is the holidays and we can just contact them and just say, happy holidays, or for whatever reason, welfare checks. It's this time of the year, I think, that is easier to prospect, if we're going to call it that. But if it's just a touch, reaching out to them, I just think it's easier. Everyone's going to start posting all these, pictures or, in October, Halloween of their kids and things like that. My kid doesn't do that, but, it's an opportunity for me to engage. It's funny, when school started, everyone was posting all these pictures of their kids' first day of school, where my child was in college. So she sent me a picture of her first day of school. So, I sent messages out to my friends that I got a first day pic too. So it's just different opportunities for me to connect, engage, even though I don't have a child, a school age child. But I can tell you one thing that I did earlier this month, when the mums came out, and, I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity. So I bought, okay, so Wegmans has really great mums. And I bought one, they're $7 for each of my clients that I worked with this past year. I wrote them it was a handwritten note, and I delivered them all to each of those people. And some of them, I didn't even let them know I was coming. It forced them to say, Angela, and then they all started calling me. Some of them are posting these pictures. Look what my realtor did, or look what my realtor left, or whatever. So it was just a small gesture. I was thinking of them. It cost me $7 times however many, clients I work with this year. And it was just a way to engage, because I really was thinking about them, and I am grateful for them. And even though it only cost me $7, it cost me my time and, to go deliver those. So there was a lot of conversation that took place because of it. And I have a long list of other things, but those are just a few things. Oh, one more I'll mention. Things happen in life that aren't as planned. So I had a issue with my car last week. And when I was in the shop, I'm in a room full of a couple people waiting for the mechanic to come out to talk to us. So I spark a conversation with one person, and now everyone's listening to what we're talking about. Now we're on the subject of real estate, and those who weren't even interested we're all engaged in the waiting room because I sparked a conversation with one person. So a lot of it was to, talk about our experience with this mechanic. He was so great and all this other thing, And so everyone was chiming in about how great this mechanic was. So I don't know how we got on real estate. I'm sure I brought up something. I'm a realtor, I'm sure. Anyway, the conversation just kept going. And normally we dread sitting there waiting. I don't dread sitting there waiting in a waiting room because there's an opportunity there. So when I picked up my car, I was getting ready to leave. The mechanic that everyone loved allowed me to leave my business cards there on the counter. And he asked me, how's real estate going? So he knows that I'm a real estate agent. So, I would say within that 1 week, there were so many opportunities presented to me, and I was maximizing those opportunities because I'm doing all that to prepare for the future, 2023.
Excellent, excellent, Angela. That is the quintessential abundance mindset, maximizing every opportunity given. Now, there are a couple things that I heard Angela say that I want to officially add to what we're talking about, and somebody can drop it in the chat with regards to her expanding her sphere of influence. She talked about maximizing time in any weight room, striking up that conversation so that other people can join. Another thing is social media post engagement intentionally. So I want everybody to be reminded that your sphere of influence also consists of every single person that you're connected with on social media. And the only thing that stands in between you and connecting with 500 more people this month is simply clicking a button. So you can absolutely grow your sphere of influence by leaps and bounds if you were simply to just take the next 30 days and add people on social media every single day. Okay. So that's across the platforms. That's your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, so that when you're sending out those posts of any kind, now you have audience engagement, people's posts that you can respond to and people to respond to yours also. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you for sharing, Angela. In terms of sphere of influence, does anybody else have an opportunity that they'd like to share where they were able to maximize or add to their sphere of influence? Thank you, Anita. I see your message in the chat, intentional engagement. And Darlene, I see yours too, filtering through the contacts and keeping leads engaged in education. Excellent.
I would like to chime in on something that Curtis and you, Mrs. Porter, gave us a heads up about a few months ago. I have been engaged in that Reminder Media magazine. Curtis was doing Good to Be Home, and I've been doing Start Healthy. And I keep getting responses from having that magazine sent out. My second one went out a couple of weeks ago, maybe just last week, and I'm getting more calls on it. People are calling and saying, well, I want a copy. You sent it to so-and-so. Why didn't you send it to me? So they're seeing those things, and those are, they're encouraging me as well. Seeing them and having those conversations is also encouraging. So if you have something that you would like to do on a regular basis, I have thank you cards that I send out as well. Anything, as Angela's saying, anything to engage folks so that they will call on you just to catch up, and you just remind them that you're still in the business, or some of them, because they see these things all the time from you, will say, how's business going? Or they might even say, look, you know, I had forgotten. Thank you for sending that again. I just noticed that my next door neighbor or my cousin or somebody is getting ready to move. They're looking to buy or they're looking to sell. And so those kinds of things are happening to me with these conversations. So if you have something like that that you want to, you know, start, or that you've been doing and have dropped for a minute, pick it back up. This is a great time to do that so that you can get those conversations going and continue moving into the new year.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Dee. That's wonderful. And I'm excited to hear the success behind the magazines that you were sending out. So kudos to you. Kudos to Curtis as well. I know that both of you have taken up that charge and are diligent to send those out. Great. So then we're going to move right on to the next point in our conversation today. And as we do, I want you guys to keep everything that we're talking about in mind. I want you to take it to heart in the most encouraging, positive way possible, because anything that you have done is an opportunity to learn and to grow from a foundation that you set. Anything that you haven't done is still an opportunity for you to learn and grow from, maybe an opportunity that you'll know to take next time. So no matter what, they're all opportunities, okay? So reflecting on success and opportunities from 2022. This is going to be your heavy hitter, because this is where you'll be able to make the needed adjustments and course corrections so that you can close out this year strong, and so that you can have a banner first quarter, second quarter, third quarter in 2023, okay? So reflect on those successes and opportunities. And before I open that up for discussion, I just want to kind of dialogue just slightly about that, because I know that there's a wealth of information that you guys can share on that. There are some things that you're going to do well just naturally, right? And then there's some things that you're going to have to work on developing a skill for. Nevertheless, there is an opportunity to be successful in any endeavor. It either is going to come naturally or it's going to come with hard work, like we talked about last week. And Curtis shared how the people in the gym, if they want to, look like he looks, they have to be willing to do some of the things that he's willing to do. So these are the opportunities that are in front of you. Every last one of you have had successes, not one withstanding. Every last one of you have had successes. What are those successes? What did you do? So whether it was a successful conversation that led to an appointment or a lead or somebody that you got that you're able to follow up with, that you're able to convert into a client, that you were able to convert into a closing, those type of successes will fuel your fire, if you will, and help to keep you moving forward. We want you guys to reflect on those as your foundation so that you can build from those successes. Okay? Then as it pertains to your opportunities, nobody knows better than you do what opportunities you have to progress your real estate business in this last couple months of 2022, and then to just take off running and flying in 2023. What are those opportunities? What are those opportunities? And I want to encourage you guys to look at opportunities from the perspective of simply just that, opportunities, not one that's going to, put you to shame and have you saying, okay, well, I don't want to show my face because I didn't do this like I was supposed to, or I didn't say this like I was supposed to say to. I want you guys to shed that type of thinking and move forward empowered, knowing that the mere fact that you are aware of those things that need to be done, you have an opportunity to do those. Okay, do not make excuses for yourself. We won't make excuses with you, for you, or even accept the excuse in the conversation, because we want to push you guys to the next level. We want to push you to your goals, push you to greatness and success in the way that that looks for you in your life. So it's your responsibility now, and we're giving you that charge to reflect on those things. What worked out for you in 2022? What did you do in terms of your prospecting, in terms of your marketing, in terms of the conversation? We know that each and every last one of you who did that text campaign earlier this year had multiple successes with it. I don't think there was a single Realty Pro who did that text campaign who did not have successes. Leads, clients, closing, many of you, all of the above, directly from that. So that's one success. And I'm sure that there are very many more. So you got to know that opportunities are endless, and no matter where you are in your real estate business, there's room to grow. So what does that look like for you in terms of reflecting on success and opportunities? I want one person to share a success and an opportunity. One, maybe two.
So, Ms. Porter?
Yes.
So I'll start with an opportunity first, and this has been my challenge. This is the second year, is just the whole consistency, and in organization. That is something that I have got to get better about. Consistency and being organized, staying on task, because there are just other things that can just take you off, that I have allowed to take me off task. But also too, I guess something that may be a little bit easier for me to do is and even in this, it's not as if though I did it consistently, but at least I, did it, is also, just reaching out individually to to my sphere of influences. And so, and with that, was able to, there, two sellers, that I was able to get in contact with as a result of, one person, both of them actually, I met through a previous client, but in one of them I was already familiar with, but I just so happened to reach out to her initially on something that had nothing to do with real estate, and then started talking about real estate and saw that she had a need for an agent. So that was good. And then another one who said, it was a past client that they sent me their family members' contact information, and I reached out to him, and he said, well, I'm not ready yet. And so I said, okay, that's fine. We did, the listing consultation and everything. And so I just felt like, okay, I'll just kind of just put him on, in Boomtown and in constant contact, and, just keep up with him. But he started then calling me and saying, asking about seeing places. And so that's kind of moving a little bit slow, but, it's moving anyway. So it's about just the connection of it all. I mean, you have to make connections. And so that's what my experience has been this year.
Excellent. Great points. Thank you for sharing both the success and the opportunity there. And I just want to share that that is an opportunity for everyone with regards to the consistency aspect. So thank you for bringing that into the discussion. I'm going to go ahead and share a couple of pointers that I want for each one of us to take. You can take note on it, but most importantly, I want you to take action on it. From the perspective of consistency, we have provided you guys with some tools that offer you a tremendous advantage with regards to staying in front of your sphere of influence in your book of business. Because life happens, right? It happens to all of us. No matter who we are, there are things that are going to come that will try to detract or, get our attention and take us away from our real estate business. So Mr. Porter talks about quite often, it has made it, abundantly clear that we need to automate our real estate business so that when those things happen, we're not missing out on the most important part of our real estate business, which is our prospecting. Okay, so to kind of tie in what each of you have said in some shape, form, or fashion during this time of year, it is essential that you go into your constant contact and develop those campaigns. You can simply copy them because they're already year-long campaigns in there. They're holiday campaigns. There's so many campaigns. I think there are about 600 or 700 different campaigns in there, but you can simply copy them, upload your contacts if you have not as of yet, because your contacts that you begin to market to on a consistent basis converts from your sphere of influence into your book of business. Your book of business is where your closings come from. As we know from our business planning that we do, for every 12 contacts that you get, you're going to have one lead, right? So the more people that you add into your constant contact, the better. For every 12 contacts you will have one lead. For every 5 leads, you will have one appointment. So it is a numbers game. This is the time of the year for you to go to your Boomtown and make sure that you have imported all of your contacts into Boomtown, because Boomtown allows you to click one button and send a text to everybody. Click one button and send an email out to everybody, right? Re-engage those people of your past clients, your sphere of influence, people that you have met or whatever the case is, and send them just marketing information. You want to send them an invitation to your website. There's so many opportunities and so many campaigns that are pre-built in Boomtown for you also. But being intentional about automating your real estate business is what's going to get you to the point where you have that consistency. And the intentionality behind marketing to your sphere of influence in your book of business through the sources that we provided, either of them on their own are exceptional. So from the perspective of being able to stay in front of your audience, Boomtown and Constant Contact. Boomtown is light years ahead of Constant Contact, but guess what? You guys have both. You have both. So in terms of resources, you guys are at an advantage because you have an abundance at your fingertips. Maximize them, okay? While you're asleep, your campaigns can be going out to people that you've already included in your book of business, right? And they will keep you front of mind. So whether you're dual career and you're working on an appraisal Calumet, they will receive an email, a text message from you to let them know or to keep you in front of them so that when they're ready to purchase, sell, or refer, they'll be able to call you, and you may be working on your appraisal business at the time. You know what I mean? For you, Curtis, you may be doing your gym at the time, but because you're being diligent to consistently send out your campaigns in your boomtown and in your constant contact, now people will have you top of mind when you may be leading a workout, or we may be on vacation, or you guys, you know, for the rest of us, you may be doing various things. But I want for you guys to maximize the opportunities that you have with the resources that are already being provided to you, because that consistency aspect is something that each and every last one of us needs to perfect. Okay. So thank you, Anitha, for opening up that portion of the conversation. We're going to go right into the next pointer here, which is not resting on your laurels. Not resting on your laurels. And this is something that we see all too often in real estate, right? You have a settlement, you have 2 settlements, you have 3 settlements, or whatever that looks like for you. And then, you know, many of our realty pros, not even just, you know, at Porterhouse, it's a thing in the real estate agency or real estate industry that realty pros will take their foot off the gas. You have your settlement, then you take the foot off the gas. And then a couple months later, you try to, you know, get your momentum back up, but you've taken your foot off the gas because of those settlements. So we want to just kind of break down that notion and just put a finger on that mindset that hinders you from being, you know, as productive as possible and maximizing those opportunities. Because as we talk about seed time and harvest, when you've harvested your commission from all of the, you know, the time, energy, and effort that you put into it, just like if you were a farmer and you put all the time, energy, and effort into growing your apple trees, when is the best time for you to plant more seeds? When you have more seed to plant. So now that you've gotten your commission from those transactions, that's when you need to take a portion from your commission, 10% of your earnings, and then invest that back into your real estate business. That should drive your marketing, and your marketing should thrive after your closings like never before. Okay, so I just want to, you know, kind of break down that mindset that after we have our settlement, our multiple settlements, now it's time to go and rest. No, it's time to market. Yes, you can have your vacations. Yes, you can do those things that you enjoy doing. That's what makes it all worthwhile. However, that being said, it needs to be done with your marketing in place, and with your prospecting in place, with your campaigns in place, so that while you're on vacation, you can get that call from somebody who needs you to help them, you know, to buy their next 3 investment properties. And this happens, guys. All right. Mr. Porter, did you have anything to add there? If that was you, I heard somebody unmute themselves. If not, I will continue there. The seed time and harvest aspect is you sowing into your real estate business. And in order to grow a dynamic real estate business, there are multiple things that you have to personally invest in your business. So that is going to be your time. That's going to be your talent. That's going to be your resources. That's going to be your attention to, you know, all the information that you need so as to take you to the next level in your skill in your real estate business. So just be intentional about sowing and investing into your real estate business, because it is what you're going to need in order to take you to the next level. All right. I will say that again. There are very many things that we provide to you guys that are resources that are, you know, very extensive resources that you have, and you guys benefit from not having to pay for them. Those opportunities are endless for you to prospect with them, and we want you to maximize them. Okay. That being said, we want you guys to embrace the opportunity to sow into your real estate business by investing into your own marketing also. In the beginning, when we first got Boomtown, we talked about, you know, us providing Boomtown for you guys, and then you guys paying to, you know, have your leads to come to the system. So just think about that from the perspective of maximizing the resources that you have. So we want you to leverage what it is that we give you from that perspective, okay? So again, we talk about seed time and harvest, but there are many different aspects of that. So use the money that you guys have from whatever closings that you have or whatever it is that gives you an opportunity to sow, to invest in leads also. Okay. So those are just opportunities that are tremendous, that never go away, no matter what the market is. All right. So I want to break down the notion that because the interest rates have risen so much in the last year, oh, now the market is drying up. No, it's not. Buyers will always buy, sellers will always sell. And that's just the nature of real estate. We talked about it last week when Shay first bought his first house, his interest rate was 13%. I think Glenn told us when he first bought his house, his interest rate was between 24 and 30% or something crazy like that. But we have these conversations with people on a regular basis. And I'm sharing this information so that you guys are encouraged to know that no matter what the market is, people need a place to live. So they need your services. And whether people take this as an opportunity to sell, which it is a tremendous opportunity to sell, or life happening and causing them to need to sell, they still need your services. Okay. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to add to that from the perspective of seed time and harvest in your real estate business and investing in yourself from that perspective? All right, then I'm going to go into planning for the holidays, and I'll give you guys a moment to chime in once I get through these last 2 points, because I'm going to open the floor to you as always. I want to hear from you guys. Planning for the holidays. As I stated, there's no surprise that we have holidays coming up. So they should not take our calendar and our business by storm and have us kind of walking around like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't been productive. The holidays are here. No, you should plan for them. Plan to take time off with your family. So whether that's, 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever you allocate to time that you're choosing to spend with your family over the holidays, you need to put that into your calendar. Schedule that time, and that's essential so that you're able to look at your calendar and see what other opportunities or what other time is left. As an example, if you were to take 3 days off for Thanksgiving, and if you were to take 5 days off for the Christmas holiday, whatever that looks like, you still have about 60 days or maybe about 50 days or so, somewhere around that, left for the end of the year for you to close out strong. Okay. So I want you guys to be intentional. All right. You are in the most lucrative and opportunistic business there is. Learn how to buy, flip, and wholesale on the side. So when you have that time off during the holidays, be intentional, learn something, practice your scripts, go to YouTube, look at videos, explore interests that you have that are outside of the general listing and selling real estate, the investment aspect, the flipping aspect. And call us with any questions that you have in light of that. Okay? So that's planning for the holidays and being intentional about planning your time off so that the time that you have planned to work, you maximize your productivity during that time. Does anybody have any ideas of what that can look like to most productively help progress your real estate business with regards to planning for the holiday? What does that look like for you? How can you plan for the holidays so that you have the time allocated for being off, but now you also know the time that you have set aside for your real estate business? I want to hear from you guys.
Hey, Ms. Porter.
Hello, Kermon.
Hi. Real quick, one of the things that I do realize, and it happens every year around the holiday season, we are involved and invited to a lot of different functions, a lot of different times when we can really share with people and we can interact with people, whether it's through the job, church, friends, family. We all know that. The key, I think, that sometimes we do is we get caught up into the holiday spirit and enjoying the holidays, that we don't realize that these are perfect opportunities for us to to help people and to bless people with the opportunity to buy a house. You know, sometimes we have to make people bring their mindset back to, yeah, the holidays are great, but one of the great things about the holidays is that it's a perfect time to be thinking about your purchase and how you're going to take care of your real estate goals and dreams. Mr. Porter talked about, you know, when people even already own a home, you know, so what are you doing with your real estate dreams? What's going on with your real estate ideas? So I think a lot of times it behooves us to stay focused, even though we enjoy the holidays, we enjoy time with our family, we enjoy times at church and stuff, but always keep in the back of your mind, who can I bless? Who can I help with this information? Who has been looking for a house? And not wait and get caught up into, okay, I'm going to get started at the beginning of next year. I'm going to get started, you know, at the beginning when all of the new programs or whatever comes out. But now is the time to start doing it, not just start planning for it, but to start doing it so that we can hit the new year running. And I just want to say one last thing, because I want to have everybody hold me accountable to this. I think you guys have always heard me say about how you know, technologically challenged and I don't really understand, you know, some of this new technology, which is true. But what I've made up my mind is I'm not saying that anymore. And if you hear me say it, please hit me upside my head, whatever you got to do, because that is no longer going to be a crutch for me. And I realized that it was a crutch this year. That I was, well, I don't, you know, I'm still trying to get this thing. I'm going to blow the computer up. Hey, if I blow it up, I blow it up. If I break something, I break it. But I'm going very hard and very strong. I bought a new computer. I'm excited. I'm going to make sure, because I don't want anything to hold me back from where I know I need to be. So just I hope everybody will keep me, you know, hold me accountable to that. But I think what we need to do with the holiday season is go after the holidays just like it was the last opportunity that we might have, because sometimes it is to see family and whatnot. Sometimes you only see family on the holidays. This is the perfect time to mention that. And like the gentleman said, don't be a secret agent. So that's it.
Excellent. That was so good, Kermon. Get rid of your crutch in that way. And you hear Kermon saying, hold him accountable for it. So we're looking to hold you accountable to that, Kermon, and you have come a very long way. What I want to say is, as a reminder, Ms. Pat has done a tremendous training with that constant contact for you guys getting your campaign set up. We have that uploaded onto the YouTube website. We'll have Ms. Pat, and Ms. Pat does come to the office. She has a regular schedule also. So if you guys want to reach out to her to find out when that is, so you can come and sit down with her and have her to show you how, if you need a personal hands-on experience with showing you how to get those campaigns set up, then that's something that you can do as well. But we want you guys to take advantage of it, okay? Just do it. Just do it. And I'll say it one more time, just do it. No more excuses, just do it, okay? So that being said, the very last point is business planning for 2023. For those of you who have been here any length of time, you know that this is something that we do on a yearly basis. At the end of the year, you start looking at your business plan and you start filling that out, completing it, doing that activity, so that in January, we're able to sit down and have our one-on-ones with each and every last one of our Realty pros, so that we can take a look at the year at a glance for you. Where do you want to be? What are your goals? What does this look like for you and your family? And how can we help to get you there, right? But we need a destination. We need your goals. We need the things that you're willing to commit to. So it's time for you to start looking at your business plan. And maybe that's, you know, the time for a lot of people, the time after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's is kind of a, you know, a slower time for people, for whatever the case, you know, whatever the case may be, not necessarily for real estate, but in terms of activities. Maybe that's the perfect time for you. Maybe it's right after Thanksgiving, or whatever that looks like. Be intentional, take that opportunity, go to your brokerment library, open up your agent business plan, and hold yourself accountable to going through each section of your business plan. Because in order for us to help push you into the next level for your real estate business, we need you to do your part. And that being intentional about looking at where you are in your business, planning for where you want to be, writing down the things that you desire to do so that we can help hold you accountable to those things and help you to progress in that area. That's the part that we need you guys to play in this aspect. Okay. I see D is typing a message in the chat where he's saying, D, ask folks in your sphere, now that you have a home, what are your investment plans? How do you intend for your financial foundation to grow? Excellent, D. Thank you for dropping that in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see that. That was a wonderful contribution, D. All right. So that is what I had for us today. We've had a wealth of conversation around this, this subject. It's October. Now what? We're closing out the year strong. So before we get off Realty Talks today, I want to hear from every person on the line, and I want you to tell me one thing that you're going to do to close out the year strong. So if you've already shared what closing out the year strong means to you, that's fine, but I want one thing. What are you going to do to close the year strong?
I am going to focus on getting my magazines out.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing, Dee. Next. Come on, Anita.
With the market changing as it is, this is something I've been thinking about for a little while. With the market changing as it is, and perhaps buyers not thinking that perhaps they can purchase now because of the interest rates, also kind of being very informed on what type of programs that are available that we can share with buyers that maybe can be beneficial to them. So just the awareness of what else is there that's available for them that can support them in their purchase.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing, Anita.
All right, Ms. Porter, I just want to make sure that I also make a little comment. That is, I think I'm going to contact Ms. Pat, because I'm kind of new to this constant contact. I would like to send out a mailer to my farm area. So I need to talk to her. How can I do that right before the holidays? Because October is almost ending. I want to send everything quite possibly by 15th of November. That's the date I have in mind, but I need to talk to her so that she can set me up and I can actually send out maybe, I don't know, 200-300 mailers, something like that. That's what I'm planning on doing.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Clement, give us a call afterwards so we can talk through that. Miss Pat, she's your go-to person for your constant contact. If you want to do mailers, it's a little bit easier. For your mailers, you should be able to go into BrokerMint. Otherwise, you can send an email to info@porterhouserealtypros.com to initiate that process. But give Mr. Porter a call so he can help you with the mailers. Miss Pat, specific to constant contact. That is excellent.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Next.
Hi, it's Angela.
Hello, Angela.
Hey, I would say the one thing that I would like to do is to do the text campaign we did at the beginning of the year. I'd like to end my year with the text campaign, especially during the holidays. It might be a little easier for me to kind of engage with those folks, but that's what I intend to do before the end of the year.
Excellent. Excellent. Next. Aurelia, what's the one thing that you plan to do the end of this year to close out strong?
Well, the one thing I plan to do is right now I'm kind of reconnecting with Darlene. We do have a couple of transactions that we're trying to work together. I'm just going to shadow her on them, and I'm going to be reconnecting. There was some good ideas that everybody shared at the beginning of the talk as far as reconnecting with your spirit influences, because there were people that I was working with specifically that kind of fell off and decided not to purchase or sell. So I'm going to reconnect with those people and try to finish out strong with that. So that's where I am right now. There's probably plenty other things I can add
as I go along, but of course, I'm just getting back. But me and Darlene has been working together pretty much since last Thursday, doing a couple of things. So that's what I have to add. Thank you.
Outstanding, outstanding. Darlene, give us one thing. Curtis, give us one thing. What else do we need to hear from? Paula, give us one thing.
One thing.
Yes.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to unmute while I'm driving. I guess my one thing would be getting out of myself, out of the box, and not getting out of my comfort zone and doing and actually implementing the things with basically not being afraid.
Oh, I know.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Paula. Come on, Darlene. What's your one
And
thing?
my one thing would be being proactive.
Perfect. Proactive in what regard?
Well, okay, let me go out here. Well, like for my like listings or that I have coming up, you know, I've even started putting them in brokerment, you know, even though the seller hasn't finished, you know, decluttering her house. So that's a part of being proactive.
Excellent.
Emails, cards, you know, stuff like that.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Come on, Curtis. Share one thing that you're going to do to be proactive to close this year out strong. I added proactive from Darlene so we can thank her for that.
I'm gonna actually start to this is actually for Clement as well. It's a company called Prospect Plus, and I can actually go in and laser beam in on my specific neighborhood. So I'm gonna start to send postcard flyers to a specifically targeted, you know, my specifically targeted neighborhood, and utilize the holiday season as a way to kind of informally introduce myself. And then I plan on using 23, where every month I'm sending out some type of postcard to that same address, circumference. And yeah, it's I think the pricing that I got was around $40 for like 500 addresses. So that's what I plan on actually implementing, closing out the year, and one of the things that I'm looking to do in 23. So that's one.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kermon. Is there anybody else that we haven't heard from?
It was Curtis, but it's cool.
I'm sorry, Curtis. Apologies there.
It's all
you know,
good.
I know who you are, Curtis. I'm looking at Kermon's name on the screen. He just jump back on the call.
Hey, Curtis, I'll take credit for all that, Curtis. I'll take credit for all of that. Okay?
Hey, you can cash at me the $40 too if you want to, buddy.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, excellent, guys. I think that everybody has had a chance to share. You guys have been wonderful. We have our new agent training tonight as well, hybrid in the Upper Marlboro office. You know what? Before I announce that, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, and I will turn it back over to Anita. Thank you guys for your tremendous contributions today. I'm looking forward to you guys following up and sending us your success stories from your endeavors to close out the year strong. So kudos to everybody. And until next week on Realty Talks, we'll go ahead and end our recording now.